Trapmore gang, something very strange just happened to me. I was scrolling through YouTube, watching some of the most fire hip-hop interview content I could possibly get my hands on, and I stumbled across a little interview with ATK legend Yungeen Ace with my boy, the GOAT, the big dog himself, Adam22. This is the interview everybody's been waiting for. This is the interview where Adam22 is sitting down with Yungeen Ace after we know everything. You've seen the 2-hour documentary, you've seen the Trap Geek documentary, you've seen everything you need to know about ATK versus KTA. You know everything, and it's time for Adam22 and Yungeen Ace to sit down, get it all on the table, and spill all of the juicy details about what's been going down in Jacksonville, what's been going on. But ladies and gentlemen, in this interview, something crazy happened, because your boy Adam22 done your boy Traplaw Ross an absolute solid and asked Yungeen Ace the burning question that is on nobody's minds but mine. Did you watch it? Did you watch it? Did you watch the Traplaw Ross doc? Did you watch it? And I tell you what, shout out Adam22 for asking the hard questions to Yungeen Ace, right? We finally got an answer, people. We got an answer, and it turns out that your boy Yungeen Ace, the ATK general, the Don Dada, the big man himself, he watched the doc, people. Let's have a look.
Like, I have a friend who made like a 2-hour fucking documentary about you and other shit. Traplaw Ross, shout out.
He's seen it! He's seen it! What? Bro, look, I know the video's got 2 million views, right? And I'm gassed, I'm stoked. I shout out every single one of you mofos that even sat and got through that. If you even got through 20 minutes of that video, you're a legend. But to think that Yungeen Ace, the big man himself, it's unfathomable that he would sit there and watch that, let alone 2 hours worth. I can't believe it.
How you feel about shit like that?
I be seeing that shit going around. That shit just be crazy. That shit be mind blowing, cause like looking back at all that shit be looking crazy as hell.
He looks, all right, I'll be honest with you, yeah? I'll level with you here. He looks kind of happy. He kind of smiling. When Adam said, oh, you know, my boy made the 2-hour documentary, shout out Traplaw. Yungeen Ace starts answering the question. He's laughing. He's like, yeah, you know, these little dorks in England, they do be making 2-hour documentaries about me. He looks kind of gassed, and to be fair, he should be, because he's a talent, he's a legend. He is a legend of these streets, of these musics. Yungeen Ace is an absolute don, and for me to, all the way over on this side of the world, to be so interested, so in awe of his situation, his personality, what he's been through, his amazing music, for a dork like me in England to spend weeks and weeks of my life making a 2-hour goddamn feature film about this guy, he looks kind of happy. He's almost gassed, like, yeah, motherfuckers out here making 2-hour documentaries about me off the strength of me being a real dude and me being a legend. And that's facts, man. I wouldn't sit down and make 2-hour documentary about this guy if he wasn't interesting, if he wasn't a talent, if his story wasn't one of the craziest stories that American music and crime has to offer.
I be seeing that shit going around. That shit just be crazy. That shit be mind blowing, cause like looking back at all that shit be looking crazy as hell.
It's funny what he says there, because what he's sort of saying is, to me it seems like he's sort of saying that, like, you know, I watched all of that thing, and to me it was just crazy and mind-blowing that, like, all of this shit has unfolded. You know, when you're going through it, when you're living these events, shit, man, it's probably like, you know, you probably don't really take stock of what's really going on. And to see your whole life story, the whole feud you've been embroiled in, you know, the success of your career, getting out the mud, going to jail, with shells still in your body, getting screwed over, getting put back in jail, getting your parole taken, and then ending up right at the top, having gone through all of this pain. It must be crazy to kick back. If you are Yungeen Ace, you are the guy that's involved. I'm just a dork that's making a documentary. But if you're involved and you've been through this shit, but you've never seen it laid out in a full narrative like that, shit must be crazy. I mean, I can't imagine.
But is it weird for you to have like kids in other fucking countries basically like telling the story of your life? Like, do you watch that? Like, what do you describe as like your main emotions when you see something like that? And do you watch it all?
Bro, Adam22's asking the crazy questions, bro. Adam22's my spokesperson right now, bro. Shout out to Adam, man. What a legend, what a goat. You're asking him all the important questions, bro. Did you watch the whole thing? What his main emotions were while he was watching it? Hell, Adam, you should have asked him what snacks he ate while he was watching it. What size television did he watch it on? Did he use an ambient light bar, a sound bar?
And do you watch it all? Because
Like,
there's a lot of these that are like very popular.
It's a lot of shit that go on. It's just like, it just be crazy, cause like, they don't never point out the goods though. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it just like I say, the negativity shit, like it be going on, but it's...
All right, in fairness, Yungeen Ace is saying, I'm only focusing on the negative things. I'm not focusing on the positive stuff. And I want to give him a chance to kind of see, to explore that to its natural conclusion, because I'll throw up my hands and say that particular video is not really concerned with too much positivity. I do focus on the music, in my defense, I do focus on the music. I try to make sure that video had plenty of segments where I'm saying, and this is the point where Yungeen Ace was blowing up off of music. He was focused on his music. He was making making a success of himself outside of the streets, but in all fairness, there wasn't a great deal of positivity in that video. So I want to give Ace a chance, and I'm gonna take the time before the end of this video to take an extra look into some of the positive stuff that Ace is maybe doing in his community, just generally, and just I want to give him his shine for that. So let's hear more.
It's more good, but they go unnoticed.
Right.
The good go unnoticed. Like, there's so much shit that everybody do that nobody see. And even when they see it, they just scroll right past it. They want to see negative. Oh, he this, he that. That's what they want to see.
He's talking about positive stuff that goes unseen. I just want to look into this real quick. I'm just looking up Young and Ace charity just to see if he's got charity work that he's done. So this is really interesting, right? This is a Hip Hop DX interview with Ace himself, and he's talking about kind of his song, Who I Smoke. It's a fun song, but it's a negative song, right? He's talking about smoking dead ops and he's naming them, right? It's pretty cold. It's pretty savage. But what he's saying in this Hip Hop DX interview is basically he's saying, look, I'm versatile. People think all I do is drill music like this, man, or like stuff like that. But I don't really like that type of music. But I can make it. I can talk about life. I can talk about pain, I can talk about girls, anything you name I could talk about it, but the world just loves negative shit. Supporting his point, right, my video wasn't really concerned about positive stuff, and there wasn't really many opportunities in my video about the war in Jacksonville to talk about positive things going on. And the funny thing about this interview is Ace is almost saying that like his city don't even give him the opportunity to do positive things because he's embroiled in so much negative stuff. Here he says they don't post when I do good, but they'll post the bad shit. Who I Smoke shoots up to 100 million views, but another song like Giving Up, where I'm not talking about that kind of shit, it's a great song, but it only gets 20 or 50 million views. It's frustrating when you're trying to do something good for your city. Going on to say that in Jacksonville, the police won't let him perform or do charity work for his community. So apparently the police in Jacksonville are so worried about the violence, partly through what's been going on in the music, the things that have been said, and of course the deadly events that have literally unfolded on the streets, that apparently they won't let him play shows. They won't even let him do charity work. Now that is a crazy situation to be in, and I gotta say in my own defense, bro, if the city aren't letting you do charity work, it's hard for me to talk about the charity work, but you know what, I'm glad that we've got to the bottom of this and we can understand why maybe that's the case. And you know, apologies to Ace for not putting in more positive stuff. But I would like to say that I feel like Ace's music, Ace's success, Ace is a personality through music who has literally gotten himself out one of the most gutter situations in the world, in the streets. I don't know, it can't get more gutter than being involved and embroiled in the war in Jacksonville. The fact that he's got himself and his family out of that through music, hell, that's positive. That deserves celebrating. So Ace, I'll give you your dues for that right now, bro. Look, I've Googled it a couple times. I can't really find much proof of Young and Ace doing like giveaways or like community outreach. I looked up charity, I couldn't really find anything.
I end up seeing a lot of like details that seem wrong in terms of like a lot of this stuff. It's like
all
it's
that
kind
shit be
of
off, man. All that shit. I don't be knowing what the hell some of that shit is. They be saying, man.
Ace. Oh, like a dagger to my heart. All that shit be wrong. Come on, Ace. I did my research, man. You know what? I will throw my hands up. I know for a fact there's probably a couple of details in my story that aren't entirely correct or aren't perfectly on point. There's definitely a lot of gaps in my knowledge. I got to throw my hands up and say, hell, I never even been to Jacksonville. I'm not using any primary sources. I'm doing this all off my own back. I'm an internet dork sitting in England trying to work this shit out from a distance. So you know what? I throw my hands up. I apologize if there are gaps in the story, information that's not quite right, information that's missing. I got to apologize for that. On the other hand, there's a lot of crime, there's a lot of incriminating, intertwining things in this story. If I was involved in them, I probably would also say the same thing. I wouldn't want to incriminate myself. I certainly wouldn't want to confirm slightly illicit things that are so publicly available that some little dork from England can find them out. That's all I'll say. But at the same time, there was probably a few things in there that weren't quite on point, and goddamn, I apologize for that. You know, that hurts me to think that Ace is saying that. But he's got to cover his back too, right? So he's not going to completely cop to everything I said, of course.
Does it piss you off, or are you just kind of like, whatever, this is how it is?
It kind of fuck with me because it's like it fuck with me, then it don't. Cause it kind of fuck with me because like I don't want the industry to like to be scared to come around me. Oh, all he do is violence. So now I can't go get Grammys and shit like that because it's fucking up my image. Oh, he can't come here because he might start a problem, or you know what I'm saying? And it kind of fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it's like that's the way that the people want to see it for some reason. It's crazy.
They just can tell when they're dealing with some real shit as opposed to some fake shit. There's so much fake shit, and it's so easy to do fake shit that when there's something that's obviously real, it's like hard for the fans to look away from.
It's an interesting one, right? It's an interesting one because really, when you think about it, it's like you can't really blame me or the other internet dorks. for doing the research, putting the info out there about Young and Ace, and not just about Young and Ace, because I don't want it to be put across that I'm documenting Young and Ace doing a bunch of crimes. What I'm really doing is just talking about the situations that unfolded in the streets, you know, using the information that made it to the news to just kind of tell a story of something that's going on publicly. I don't think it's necessarily fair to say like me or like Trap Geek or Insider Hotspot are kind of responsible for making Ace look bad. And I mean no disrespect, but making a song called Who I Smoke, talking about you're smoking on all these specific people who have been murdered, you know, that probably plays quite a significant role in not being able to pick up your Grammy, you know, in not being able to go and perform at your charity venue or whatever. So there's probably a certain degree of responsibility that's got to be taken for that falls on Ace. But at the same time, man, he's in a tight situation, and from what I understand, he's trying to move forward from these shenanigans, you know? So I can understand, and when you want the past to be the past, but that song, Who I Smoke, man, that had such a big impact. People wanted to know what was going on behind the scenes, man. People wanted to understand, why are you smoking these guys? We know who you smoke. Why do you smoke? I should have called my documentary Why I Smoke.
We were talking about like, oh, we were going to go to this event in Florida, and then I threw out the idea. I'm like, we should go to Jacksonville, do some videos where we pull up to the trenches out there. And you know, multiple people that work for me were like, no, I'm not going anywhere near there. I'm like, I don't even I'm like, we could go. I'm like, there's got to be a scenario where we could go at the right time, move the correct way. We don't got nothing to worry about. They're like, no, I'm not playing with it.
Adam, you know how I feel, Adam. Sign me up. I don't want to go to the trenches of Jacksonville, but I will, bro. I will. You see my Gangs of London video, I pulled up to the block. You're about to see my next Gangs of London video. I'm pulling up to all sorts of locations. Just wait till you see what that's saying. Adam, if you see this, sign me up, bro. I don't care if we need the 6ix9ine shadow security team. I don't care if we're rolling on our own. Hell, bring AD, bring house phone. Get me a set of the high rollers, size 10. I'll be ready to just run off the block if anything goes down. Bro, I will go to the trenches of Jacksonville. I'm more than happy to. I'll vlog, I'll interview people, I'll show what's really going down. I'm more than happy to hear the stories. Bro, sign me up. And tell you what, if you guys would like to see that, get in the comments, let me know what you think. Should me and Adam22 pull up to the trenches of Jacksonville? When COVID's over and I can fly to the US, I will not hesitate to pull up to the trenches of Jayville and do a vlog. I am down. I want to go and tell the real story. This invitation is extended to Young and Ace too. Hell, I'm happy to correct on the record anything I got wrong, anything that I've misrepresented. And Young and Ace, I would happily make an entire video talking about nothing but the positive things that you're doing in the community, whether that's secondhand talking about just articles and shit of positive things that are going on, or hell, do a turkey drive and invite me. I will fly out and hang out with you and help you give out turkeys to your community or whatever, bro. I'm involved. I'm not involved like that. I'm not involved. I'm not finna hold a stick. I'll hold a turkey. I'll give a turkey out, but I'm not finna hold a stick. It's not like that. Don't drive me to the KTA blocks. I'm not trying to do a drill. But for real, Adam, I'll happily go and vlog in Jacksonville. Young and Ace, it's crazy to imagine that you've even saw the video. I really appreciate that. I hope you don't feel disrespected. You did look a little bit like you kind of enjoyed having a feature-length documentary about your life story to watch. I hope that was the case. I hope you're flattered that a nerd like me in England would be so fascinated and inspired by your story to go to the effort to make something like that. But at the same time, if you want me to set the record straight, if you want me to be on some positive shit, fuck it, bro. DM me, hit me up, fucking send the goons. I don't know, but I'm down, man. Let's do something positive, whether it's in Jacksonville, whether it's on this channel, whether it's on the main channel. I don't know, I don't care, whatever. Let's do it. Thank you so much to everybody who watched that Jacksonville video. Thank you so much to Adam22 for asking Young and Ace if he'd seen it. What the fuck? I nearly dropped my cornflakes in my lap that morning when I was watching this video. And I was like, shit, new Young and Ace video? Let me check that out. What? They're talking about me in the first 5 minutes. What the fuck? Shout out Adam. Shout out Young and Ace. Shout out you guys for watching. This is actually crazy, man. Honestly, part of me is very proud to have even made something, to have had this much impact. But the person that was in it is talking about it. It's nuts. Anyway, appreciate you guys for watching that. I'm still mind blown. I'm gonna have to process this a little bit more. But shout out everybody that was involved. It's lit. It's a Trapmore thing, man. Crazy. That's it. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, like, comment, share, all that good stuff below. Make sure that you sub to Trapmore Ross. And don't forget, I dropped a 3-hour video on this second channel. If you didn't know, what, didn't you know? Didn't you know? I dropped a 3-hour video on this channel breaking down every single hip-hop conspiracy, the rap conspiracy iceberg. Make sure you go and check out that video if you haven't already. It's a doozy. I spent a lot of time on that, so please go check it out. Thanks again to all of the patrons who you see on screen right now. They're over there, lit. You guys are legends. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.